Hello, sir. I am Advocate Rudhira Patil, and I just wanted to. I am watching your reels and all the knowledge sessions on social media, and I'm really very much glad and feel so proud that you have visited in our city.
Thank you.
So my question is like, what drives you for this purpose, sir? This is first question, and second is, where do you get this aura, this positivity? We just want to know about it, sir.
So if you believe people, I'm driven by popularity. And I'm motivated by publicity. I'm motivated by the sale of my books. I'm motivated by the money I get from China. I'm motivated by certain lawyers from the Congress who apparently were my mentors. I am motivated by all the group photos that I take, and especially when women come and take pictures, apparently that drives me. So these are all the motivations. And since I'm an IP lawyer, I function on incentive. So this is my incentive. But the lie, this is the truth. Okay, so the lie is that I don't care for any of this. The absolute lie is that I don't care for any of this. Shefali ji knows how much I refuse to come. Yeah. Not and today, across the board, and not because I had a problem coming to Nashik. No, that's not the thing. The thing is, I said, I need to know what am I achieving from this in terms of value or impact. If it's going to be another session, group photo session, selfie session, some Instagram post here and there, I don't want it because I think I'm done with that cycle. I wanted to understand what impact my work creates. The book tours have told me it is making an impact. 2, it is making an impact from the age group of, I've seen 9th standard students write to me telling me that they are trying to read the books. That tells me that the core audience is being hit. Second, I've also seen people take up derivative works out of it and apply it to their own lives and to their professions. So that second order effect is achieved. 3, I wanted the books to penetrate UPSC coaching centers and libraries of institutions. It has done that. Now, I don't need to do anything more because what has happened is over the last 1 year, mainstream publications have literally come to my doorstep saying, please write for us. Indian Express was never a platform people like me could have gotten access to in the past. I have gotten access there. And they know for a fact, they willingly said, "Aa bel mujhe maar." And I've told them very clearly. So one of the terms that they offered was, we will pay you for every article. I said, I don't want a payment from the left under any circumstances. I'm very self-sufficient. I don't need anybody for anything. A lot of people also end up thinking that I'm some kind of a Jola chap who is going around asking for paisa de do, paisa de do. Nahi chahiye bhai. I have no reason for it at all. If Hindu code was not there, we would have been allowed to marry 3 people. I have the resources to marry 3 people and maintain them. So I don't want it. I'm abundantly clear about the fact that I have no need for money from anybody at all because it's an insult to a practicing lawyer to offer money. I'm very good at what I do. My professional ego is supreme. I don't need anything from anyone. So the reason why I'm being hyper selective about these activities and why I think it's important is that as much as there is cause for positivity, there is equally a growing challenge. And I'm very clear about the fact that I can communicate some things in the manner that they need to be communicated without getting into trouble. I know the thin red line, and I know how to walk on that line. It's a matter of nature and nurture, both. So I know exactly how to do that. And when people like me speak or people like Vishnu speak, it gives confidence to youngsters, saying that he is not some old man who has nothing to lose who is talking about this. These people have actually put everything on the line. 2, I am not making any sacrifice whatsoever. Not one bit, except on my sleep and family time to some extent. But even that I have significantly cut down. Across the board, organizers know they will get a standard message from me because thanks to autocorrect, it knows what exactly I have to say. I say, Namaste, thank you for your kind invitation. However, I'm extremely occupied with my packed practice schedule and the writing schedule of the 3rd book. I will not be available until, initially it was February, now it has moved to April. That's it. They know they'll get a standard refusal now. Because if I don't see value in that engagement, I will not. The reason I have come here is for two reasons. Trayambakeshwar is here. Okay? And second, Maharashtra is a huge state and you can't define Maharashtra solely by Nagpur, Mumbai and Pune. It's important that there is more penetration here. So it made sense to actually visit another region of Maharashtra and to actually make an impact here because the surrounding places are very peaceful, right? So it's very important to come and make an impact here. So my motivation is very clear, which is try and keep the self at the background as much as possible. It's difficult. I am no sannyasi. I too have an ego. Contrary to popular perception, I am not a humble person at all. It just so happens that I know what are the limits of my knowledge and what are the limits of my ego, and I know who is good at what. I cede space. If somebody is better at something than me, I will agree with it. My ego will not come in the way of that acknowledgement. So the point is, the very purpose of these engagements is strategic, disruptive, surgical attacks, period. You get into the place, start a fire and get out of the place. When I go to campuses, the point of going to those campuses is to empower voices which have been silenced and say, start talking. Find the spine to start talking. If you don't have that, and if you're going to create a bhajan mandali or a kavali mandali out of my reels and make a cult out of me, forgive me, I'm not interested in that. I have no interest in becoming the head of another personality cult. 2, positivity. I've said this, dharmiks don't have the luxury of being pessimists. If this is the bottom of the bell curve, यहाँ से ऊपर ही जा सकते हैं और कहाँ जा सकते हैं, इससे बदतर कैसे हाल हो सकता है? According to me, a verse of the 1947, क्योंकि तब तो एटलीस्ट आपके हाथ में तलवार हो सकता था, आप बात भी कर सकते हैं. अब आप ना बात कर सकते हैं ना आपके हाथ में तलवार हो सकता है. If people believe that the reality of 47 has changed, it's just an ongoing, let's say, reality, except its Ruuprekha has changed. And the labels have changed. I've said this before, we don't need to believe in violence, but we certainly need to believe in the use of deterrent force and protect yourself. How many examples do you want across the country where the state has proved to be absolutely napunsak and impotent in protecting Hindus? So, this is no more an academic discussion. It is not a post-dinner katha kalakshepam. It's not. It's not a harikatha in a temple. Unfortunately, I hope harikathas in temple take up these issues. I hope that happens. So, I genuinely believe that it is imperative for people to speak. I am not saying I am here with some kind of messianic belief, but one of the very clear reasons, apart from other reasons for making the transition from engineering to law, was to make these serious disruptive public interventions. And so I will not give it up. I will just ask myself 3 questions. Is it coming at the expense of my professional time? Is it coming at the expense of my health? My family has compromised enough, and therefore how do I strike a balance? And 4, is the platform deserving of it, or does the platform deserve my support? That's it.
Thank you.
Please choose. I don't want to be accused
myself,
of that.
Viraj Marathe.
Ji.
I am IT engineer. Just a small question. In that way, these Hindus are flatter under the umbrella of casteism. How you will going to tie these Hindus in one string? Just answer. I will expect answer will be in one line, or it will be a one word.
Jati Dharma and Hindu Dharma are not antarvirodhi, and Jati Dharma doesn't require you to look down upon people. If you look down upon a profession, I've said this I think in several places, don't use the jibe puncture wala at anyone, because puncture walas don't belong to one particular community. Don't make fun of any profession. It's not correct. That reveals your elitist nature. Don't do it. As a civilization, we have respected people across the board. No society can function without the Shudras. The Shudra word is not a bad word. It's a proud word. It is the foundation of every civilization. If you read the second book, the opening portion of the second book contains verses from the Vedas specifically explaining how there are Varnashrama Dharma systems even within the Devas. Who is seen as the Brahmana, who is seen as the Kshatriya, who is seen as the Shudra. The earth is seen as the Shudra because it is the Shudra that provides for everyone. Okay? So first, take away the negative connotations associated with this word. That is where you remove this in your head. And two, the least that we can do when we speak of battling conversions and other things is that if someone from our community comes asking for monetary help, find a way to support that person until we have institutional structures such as temples to support these people. I'll give you a blunt example. If you really want to fight reservations, you can't fight reservations without a replacement. And the replacement, according to me, is temple money actually going into their education as opposed to going into the coffers of the government. Period.
Should I start? Yeah. Radhe Radhe, Sai. I'm Sumit Patwardhan. I'm a chartered accountant by profession.
Ji.
Two questions in the same scenario actually. First is, when we are in a social setting, we have one set of people who are completely deranged from the dharmic fold. At no point, no amount of facts or even evidences that are given to them in the conversation, make them see any kind of sanity. How do we deal with such lot? And the second is, when we are in a social setting with peoples of the Abrahamic faith, is it wiser, or rather, how exactly do we go on the offensive in trying to pick holes within what they are saying, which is actually very easy from a logical point of view, but is it wiser? Is it, how exactly do we go about doing that? Because I think going on the offensive is also kind of essential.
I don't think it makes sense to try and convince someone who's already formed an opinion. I don't waste my time doing that. I wait for history to prove itself. And with each passing day, with what is happening in the Middle East and other places, our case is only becoming stronger. So you don't need to do anything. You wait for them to embarrass themselves by defending even this. They will do that shamelessly. Let everybody watch it. In those moments, don't shut them up. Let them speak. Because they are making your case better than you could have ever, thanks to the defense of even the indefensible. That's one. Don't see your need to engage with them, to convince them, is not coming from a need to prove Dharma's point, but perhaps it's an ego investment. And I'm not talking about you in general. What I'm saying is, fight those battles where it is not just worth your time, where you know for a fact it's an impressionable fence sitter who is young, who doesn't know where to form an opinion. Intervene there. Those are the people who are actually open to understanding your point of view. Today the leftists cannot convince me fully, under no circumstances. Just as I can't convince them. So his investment or my investment in each other to try and convince the other is useless. Second, how do you make your point and still not attract any kind of attention? I think as Hindus who believe in the power of the tongue, the Vak is such an important aspect of our understanding of the sound and all that, and Shabda Pramana has such an important aspect. So please observe some sense of smartness in the way you engage on social media. You have to realize that the odds are stacked against you, so much so that nobody has the power today to prevent any kind of SDSJ kind of declarations against you. So use your viveka, use your buddhi, have some yukti in the way you actually handle these issues. I must have done at least 500 to 550 public engagements since 2016. Pull anything out from anything that I've said, whether out of context or with context. Ask yourself, how much of it is within the bounds of the law? 100% of it is within the bounds of the law. So, are you saying that everybody has to become a lawyer? No, I'm just saying everybody has to just be a bit smarter. Okay. That you realize the consequences of what you're saying, and you realize that the state will not come to protect you when you're under attack. You are responsible for the protection and safety of your own families first, nobody else. So don't shut up. There are two ways. Either start with a negative narrative or you start with a positive narrative. Today what is needed is not, let's say, the constant bashing of the other, but a clearer understanding of the self. Because once you have a clearer understanding of the self as to what is Hindu Dharma, what is a community, you'll be in a much better position to respond to the other side. So try and invest in creating a positive narrative in the first place. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Namaste, Saiji.
Namaste.
This is Prathamesh Naik, engineer becoming lawyer,
Ji.
just like you.
Okay.
And talking about peaceful surroundings around Nasik, we see a lot of aggression youth at that side of district,
Right.
and lack of aggression in this side. Even when it comes to protect our culture, our religion, our deities,
Right.
whatever it is. So what has led us to lose that Kshatriya Dharma, that essence of Kshatriya Dharma in our youth, and how can we restore it in near future or in today's era?
The practicing Hindus' tendency to run down organizations like the Bajrang Dal is a standing example. I don't see why you have to actually criticize these organizations. If you're saying, "Arey ye karte hain, wo karte hain," okay, you tell them how to be better. But you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater and say they shouldn't exist at all. You want them to be super sophisticated, super sensitive, super secular, super liberal, and also protect you on the ground. What are you expecting, man? Are they supermen? How do you deal with the person on the other side by being all of this? You need a certain degree of crudeness to be able to do what needs to be done. You won't do it, and you will cast all your middle class expectations on that fellow also. Are? So the thing is, find a way to support these families. Find a way to give them employment so that they have the confidence that they're not fighting a lone battle. I would always say you only need clusters of these 3 or 4 people in every region. Ground activists, intellectuals to defend what they do, lawyers to defend them in court, and if possible, people from the establishment who have the guts and the conviction or maybe incentive to support you. The job is done. Everywhere the job is done. Yes. Jai Shri Ram. Jai Shri Ram. Take the mic, ma'am, if possible, because I think it's for posterity, so that I can be caught with something I say.
Thank you for the mic. Otherwise, I would have asked this question without mic also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sir, thank you for coming to Nashik. We all are fan of yours. While speaking, you were informing that we should go back to ritualistic studies and also Vedas.
Right.
This era is going to be, next era is going to be era of AI, and also climate change technologies are coming. To become our nation first, our youth and everybody also has to concentrate on this part also.
Correct.
Studies of Vedas is itself going to take a lot of time.
Right.
In this, how would you advise our youngsters to make a confluence of studies of Vedas as well as bringing our nation first through technology?
I wouldn't say start with the study of Vedas, क्योंकि उसके लिए एक level of commitment भी चाहिए होता है. So I didn't say that. What I'm saying is practice of the dharma and study of the Vedas are 2 different things. Those who have the ability and the commitment to do it can do it. It's not as if I'm Vedically trained. My training has just about begun. My Upanayan Sanskar happened in my 20s. And my study of the Vedas has started in my mid-30s. So where is the comparison? Most people finish at least 2 Vedas by this time. At least 2 shakhas are done by this time. So I'm also a latecomer. What is important is having your practice, which is your daily routine, which creates a certain sense of discipline, and you know exactly what is it that you're standing up for. Okay? That need not be the study of the Vedas. It can be creating a personal relationship with a particular deity, or being initiated into a particular kind of sadhana, whatever it may be. So if ultimately it is written in your destiny that you will go down the path of the study of Vedas, it can't be decided. Niyati mein hai to hai, wo apne aap ho jayega. That can't be changed. But the minimum that you can do in terms of free will exercise is basic commitment to a daily routine, which cannot or should not take more than 50-20 minutes. But the thing is, it should be a non-negotiable, so much so that just as you brush, just as you eat, it's part of what we call the Nitya Karma period. It has to be practiced, whatever it may be. That's it.
And once again, thanks a lot, Sai, for coming here. I know, I really feel bad about the amount of travel that you had to do to come here. But
the star of today's, let's say, engagement is the next person. Because of his active efforts, generational efforts. See, I can confidently say this without feeling an iota of shame because it's a conscious decision I've taken. I am in several senses part-timer when it comes to this cause. Okay? Vishnu has inherited a generational legacy of being a full-timer. In that sense, according to me, this is a new jati. Okay. So first they started with Ramji, now they are going to Krishnaji. और बीच में शिवजी भी आ गए. So they are covering both the Shaivites and Vaishnavites. The day you set up a political party, Shaivites will support you. I'm guaranteeing this. Thank you. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you so much, Sai.